Rap, hip-hop culture, we're all brothers, man. But these guys are actually related. With all the success that Migos have experienced in the recent years, it's pretty neat that the group have all earned their success while being related. With Quavo being Takeoff's uncle and Quavo being Offset's cousin, it's safe to say the trio have been close since before forming Migos. The group was originally founded by Quavo in 2008. After bringing on his nephew and cousin, the group went by the early name of Polo Club. After feeling the name was too generic, the three decided to change the name to Migos. All three grew up close together outside of Atlanta, in a small suburban area, and they admitted to not struggling as hard as, some would make it seem. Quavo talked about growing up with his future group saying, "I ain't gonna sit here like my neighborhood was hard and I had to get out there and grind. We made it hard for ourselves. We chose to stay in the streets." Their first mixtape was released in 2011, entitled Juke Season, which then gave birth to another mixtape released a year later. Unlike a few rappers who enjoy success from the publication of their first tape, the three struggled to get attention early on. It wouldn't be until 2013, with the publication of their single Versace, that they started to enjoy a following. The single had been produced by Zaytoven, and it managed to make 99 on the US Billboard Top 100 list. However, his greatest claim to fame came when Drake remixed and dropped a verse in the song. With Drake's recognition, the trio were now approached with offers to rap at radio stations, and they enjoyed press coverage, which would help them later hype the release of their album that was released in 2014. Migos would go on to become a household name after the release of their single Bad and Bougie in 2016. The song went on to top the US Billboard Top 100 list, making it the first song Migos created that became #1 in the country. Dr. Dre was born in Compton, California, as the first son of his father Theodore and his mother Verna Young. Shortly after his birth in 1965, Dre's parents separated and they divorced in 1972. Growing up, Dre often moved quite a bit around the Compton area, as his parents tried to place him in a school that would give him the best chances. Inevitably, due to the bad environment young Dre had been surrounded by, finding the perfect school free of gang violence was nearly impossible. By the time Dre hit high school, his mother had remarried with Warren Griffin, which added 3 siblings to Dre's family, which included his stepbrother and future rapper Warren G. You think with the similarity the two had with their love for rapping that Dre's come up in the business would certainly involve Warren. However, that wasn't the case. From the time Dre made it big until the time he moved on to found Death Row Records with Snoop Dogg and Tupac, Dre had never really involved Warren in his business, simply telling Warren that he needed to find his own way. While Dre was off starting up careers with his own record label, he left his own brother to fend for himself. And to Warren's credit, he was able to thrive fine just on his own. In 1993, Warren had his first major break when he was approached to produce a song for a movie named Poetic Justice. With the help of Nate Dogg, the two came up with the track entitled Indo Smoke. It being a feature song in the film received praise and directly led to Warren being approached by Def Jam Records for a record deal. And when Nate Dogg on his side, the two began working on an album that would eventually release the year after, titled Regulate G-Funk Era. The album was a massive success, and Warren G talked about making it on his own with music without Dre, saying, "I was there, I put in a lot of work. And like I say, it was a family effort. It was all of us, but it just wasn't working. There were certain things that would happen where I wasn't involved and I just felt left out. I was too hurt at the same time because these are guys that I love. I don't think to this day, these dudes realize how much love I have for them. I just wish we could have had a lot of success together. Everybody got a Death Row jacket, but I ain't get it. You know it hurt. I said I just gotta do my thing, and Dre's like, you gotta be your own man. So that hurt too." Born to a Vietnam veteran and singer for a father, Snoop Dogg's father basically abandoned him and his mother just 3 months after his birth in 1971. Snoop Dogg got the name from his family due to the fact that Snoop looked kind of like the dog character from Peanuts, Snoopy. Snoop's mother eventually remarried shortly after his father's leave, but even her remarriage would only last until Snoop was around 4 years old. Snoop quickly took up music and rapping while attending church when he was just 12 years old. As a young teen, Snoop was a good kid who was described to be a good student. However, with age, Snoop began to fall victim to the gang violence around him. His worst years with the law would take place shortly after graduating from high school, when Snoop was arrested for possession of cocaine. The one charge led Snoop down a downward spiral. Within 3 years after graduating from high school, Snoop had been consistently in and out of jail until he finally found his focus in rap. Snoop eventually teamed up with his cousin Nate Dogg, Lil Half Dead, and their friend Warren G to record homemade tapes. The four had even gone as far as to create a rap group named 213, which had been named as a nod to their city's area code in Long Beach, California. By the time Snoop made it big on his own, he decided to leave the group to focus on his solo work and involvement in Death Row Records with Dr. Dre. His decision to leave the group effectively left Warren G and Nate Dogg on their own to make a name for themselves, which they went on to do. However, unlike Dre and Warren, who for the most part led entirely separate careers, Snoop still kept close with Nate and continuously featured him in a few of his early albums. Their relationship can be best summed up by the words Snoop had for Nate when he passed away in 2011 due to a stroke. Snoop said, "We lost a true legend in hip-hop and R&B, one of my best friends, and a brother to me since 1986, when I was a sophomore at Poly High where we met. I love you, buddy love. You'll always be with me forever. You put the G in G-Funk, you put the 1 in 213, homie. You put your stamp on everybody you did it with. I miss you, cuz. I'm so sad, but so happy I got to grow up with you, and I'll see you again in heaven, cuz I know you the slogan. All dogs go to heaven. Your homie, baby brother, Big Snoop Dogg. While this one may be a giveaway for hardcore fans of Wu-Tang Clan, it may surprise some to know that 3 of the members had all been cousins. Before RZA, GZA, and Old Dirty Bastard would go on to found Wu-Tang Clan along with 5 of their friends, the cousins started rapping in 1984 with the group named Old Specialists. The name was swapped a year later in 1985 for the aptly named All In Together Now. The group stuck around for some time until 1992 when RZA had faced charges for attempted murder. By what he considered the stroke of good fortune, RZA was eventually acquitted of all charges. The near life-changing event inspired RZA to take his talent seriously, pursue rapping once again with his cousins. RZA talked about facing jail time when he said, "When they said not guilty, my face stuck in a smile for 3 days. I was just walking around town, thinking about my daughter and my wife. Right then, I said goodbye to anything that'd put me in that situation again. I was up on trial on an attempted murder charge. I was a fool, with all that knowledge in my head, and ended up there." Shortly after being acquitted, RZA formed Wu-Tang Clan. As a part of joining, all members decided to give themselves new rap names. Releasing their first single later on that year, Wu-Tang released their debut album in 1993 entitled Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. Being born on July 20th, 1999, Pop Smoke, or rather Birth Bashar Baraka, was born in Brooklyn, New York. With his ethnicity coming from Jamaica from his mother, and Panama from his father, Smoke mostly identified with his mother's Jamaican traditions. Pop Smoke took up selling drugs in his early teens. By the time he was 16, he bought himself a BMW 5 Series. Like any criminal, Smoke's luck eventually ran dry when he was placed in house arrest for 2 years after catching a weapons charge. Smoke would go on to start his career in music in 2018 while he hung out with other recording artists in the studio. When he made his music career official, Smoke came up with his name Pop Smoke because Papa was what his grandmother called him, while Smoke was his nickname his friends had given him. Just a year after first starting his career in rap, Smoke released his first single, Welcome to the Party, in 2019. The song was almost an instant success, and not too long after its initial release, the song had already been remixed by Nicki Minaj and Skepta. Since getting big in the industry, Smoke went on to become friendly with some of the industry's biggest stars, most notably 50 Cent. With 50 Cent being double Smoke's age, Smoke looked at 50 Cent as an idol that he looked up towards. In fact, much of the quick success Smoke received early on in his career has been compared to the quick success of 50 Cent. 50 talked about the first time he had met Smoke when he said, "I met him, we was talking, I was like, yo, I'm watching him, right? He keeps playing with his phone. These little dudes play with their phone all the time. I'm like, yo, what is wrong with this dude?" I said, "Oh, sees a difference between a dude copying you? That's not copying. He never copied one thing from me. He just looked at it. He saw what was good in it. It influenced him. He was doing his own thing. I fell in love with the dude at that point." The first encounter between the two left 50 Cent in shock. He'd never come across a rapper as young as Smoke who was so devoted to becoming better that he copied the words of rappers before him. Similarities in their quick pathway to success aside, the two rappers even looked almost like brothers and even acted like it. Since passing away in a tragic unsolved murder, 50 Cent has vowed to complete the album in his young friend's name, saying on Instagram, "I'm on the move listening to Pop Smoke. I decided I'm going to executive produce and finish this album for him." Hey yo dog, I don't know if you realize this, but this video's over, okay? So I'm gonna need you to click on this video on the screen. Yeah, right here. This is a fire video, dude. I swear. Big fire. Alright? Click on it.